Hello, welcome back. I'm Professor LaRue, and today we're looking at effective business communications from the Saylor Academy book, Module 7, Chapter 13. And Chapter 13 is all about presentation. So it talks about the functions of the presentation, which presentations are usually able to help the audience understand a topic better. So our function as speakers are to help share insights of this topic, increase their understanding, as well as change their perspective. And so the speech, keep in mind, is to inform, not to necessarily persuade or entertain or display attitude. The other then also helps us with some tips on to maintain our speech neutral. And so there's 5 suggestions he offers on keeping the language neutral, keeping your sources credible, keeping your presentation balanced, keeping your audience in mind, and keeping who you represent in mind. So, for example, in my case, if I'm representing the college, then I want to keep that in mind when I present information about effective communications. Now, take a moment to think of a presentation you might have attended. Was it informative or persuasive? And write down the main differences you find between this presentation that I'm conducting today and what presentation you have seen in the past. Now, there's also different types of presentations, and you might be speaking about a topic to inform us in a certain category. So this can be an explanation to help your audience understand the material. It can be a report. So a status report always helps the audience understand that speech better. It can be a description. So to stimulate your audience and with devices and visual aids. It can be a demonstration to create an elevator speech that focuses on the main points of information and cite those resources you use. So take a moment to prepare a few lines for an elevator speech on introducing yourself and maybe some of your accomplishments or capabilities. This is always helpful. It's kind of a sales pitch to yourself. But if you keep that in the back of your mind, a lot of times it's really helpful to introduce yourself and your capabilities better. So there is a good YouTube on this called Elevator Pitch Example by Professor Heather Austin that you might want to check out on YouTube to help you with this. Now, there's also adapting your presentation to teaching involves motivating the listener. And so there are 7 strategies that pose questions to audiences to get a better feel for what kind of audience you're dealing with, and also whether they're understanding your material. So you may ask, why should you care about this topic, and help them answer that. Also help identify what areas they might need to know. You may also ask, why did you choose this topic over other topics? Or ask as a result of the speech, what will you learn that you can apply? What's new or what you can do better? Also, what is new about what you're presenting? So incorporate that as well, and what is in it for them, so they don't get bored with the presentation. And is this topic as important as you say it is? So, for example, when I teach statistics at other colleges, I incorporate Excel software learning tools, and I teach some Excel as well. And this helps students learn the new software skills which they can apply to statistics, but also not just give them statistical math facts, which will probably bore them to death. So this seems to help the students remain more focused on statistics when they're also incorporating Excel learning skills in it. So that's my way of keeping that presentation a little bit more actively involved. So the other also offers other tips that you might want to consider for your speech. So some of them are limiting the number of details you provide, focusing on clear main points, pacing yourself carefully, speaking with concern for clarity, use restatements and repetition, provide usual visual reinforcements, include time for questions, and look for ways to involve your listeners actively. So take a moment now to see if you can watch a news program where when you have a moment, and bring up the facts you gathered into your next speech. So maybe write down a few lines of what you might want to involve in your speech. And this can include a presentation that you make for this course, but integrating those facts might help your audience stay more in tune with what you're presenting. So there's also diverse types of intelligence and learning styles, and the author talks about the psychologist Howard Gardner and his multiple intelligence theory about being intelligence different domains. So for example, 10, there's logical math intelligence versus physical coordination and control, all different intelligences out there, and that guide your learning style differently from one another. So the examples they provide are linguistics, so language driven, logical, which is more math number oriented, spatial, which is more 3D color and form presentations, musical, which is more rhythm and pitch, bodily, which involves time and balance and athletics, interpersonal, which is more about organizing and communicating that information, and intrapersonal, which is more about reflection and thinking strategy. So there is a good YouTube also on this, which is called What Learning Styles Are You by the Pocket Mentor app, that you might want to check out on YouTube to help you understand this part of the Effective Communications course a little bit better. Hope this is helpful, and I'll see you next time.